Nate was saying that he, felt like you guys were getting plenty of looks, plenty of opportunities last night, just couldn't quite convert. Now, with a night to kind of go over things, just what was your perspective on the game with a second chance to look at it?
Yeah, I actually feel better about the game after looking at it than you do when you're kind of emotionally invested in it at the time. And I agree with him. Like, I thought we did a nice job creating some looks, especially through the first 40 minutes. Some dangerous some high danger chances. Didn't capitalize on them. We battled for a lot of those rebounds net front, couldn't come up with many. We had some shots through traffic and through screens that made their way through. Had a couple looks off the rush. I think if we generally, when we create that amount of expected goals for, we come up with more than one goal. Usually probably be in the 3 or 4 range. And we were unable to do that last night. So, I think we can make a tough run Ottinger net front. We got boxed out to the side of the net quite a bit on some high danger looks where we couldn't break his sight line. And then I think the power play definitely can be better creating. We did have a couple really good looks, but not as many as we should have had probably with the time that we had on the power play. And that kind of leads to it too, like the skating and competitiveness on the puck offensively was there. It's why we drew some penalties, which is part of what you have to do. So there's a lot to like on in D zone coverage. I thought we were really good. We still gave up a couple chances off the rush that I didn't like. Like some short odd man rushes, and one of them ended up in the back of our net, which was the game-winning goal. So some things to improve on for sure. But I think it was when it comes to playing a full 60 and getting to our game consistently, it was probably our best one of the 3.
Kind of piggybacking off the power play part of that, Pete DeBoer said last night that after game 1 they made some adjustments on their kill. He wouldn't say exactly what, but did you see some differences over the past 2 games on how they...
Yeah, game 2, I think already they look like they made some adjustments, and then, so now it's up to us to make adjustments to get around it. That's the way it goes. We have success game 1, they make some adjustments, it works. Now we have to readjust and try to find some holes in what they're doing. So that's what their guys are spending a bunch of time on this morning. We had a 5-on-5 meeting. They're talking some power play right now and getting the workout in and getting ready to go for tomorrow.
Go ahead,
sorry. You did mention last night about needing to put it behind the defenseman and go get it. It does feel like one of the strengths of their team is Miro and Lindell and Suter, guys who are pretty good at going back and getting at it. So what's sort of the chess match of you want to put it behind them, but maybe you got to find certain spots and.
Yeah, and listen, you might not get it back on your first time in if they're just going to grab it and throw it back out. It's probably the one thing you're not going to come up with it every time, but still gives us the opportunity to get it back in the neutral zone and turn it back on them and do it again. And if we find room off the rush, then we got to take advantage of it and use it. If we can't, then still got to go behind them. You have to be patient. You got to be disciplined. You be really mature about it, and that's where I thought we got better in last night's game than we were in game 1 and 2.
So, everybody expected a long series against Winnipeg just because of how evenly the teams were matched up. Obviously, you guys kind of had your way. How do you sort of switch from that to okay, you're in a war now?
Well, we've been prepared for that the whole time. And against Winnipeg, too, we were just able to sort of break through and stay with it long enough and have some success. But still, they were all hard-fought games, all of them.
I haven't fully looked at what the minutes shook out to be, but Val had a lot of success with Nate and Mikko through the first handful of games. You went with Lecky there on that line, and I think there was a couple shifts where Val took away Nate and Mikko. What was kind of the thought process on moving Val away from those guys and maybe not going back to it?
Well, they didn't have a great night in game 2, and Lucky's had success there. He's been playing really well, coming up with a lot of pucks. He's been dangerous at the net front area as well. So there's similarities to their game, so it was kind of an easy switch to see if they could get going. I thought the McKinnon line was definitely better last night, no question about it.
Okay. I'll go ahead, Corey. Oh, yeah.
I feel like Vanna White.
Sorry. Casey hasn't as many points in this series yet. Or whatever. How do you think his? I think especially in game 3, his line was probably the best one. How do you think the second line is sort of handling
I think they got another step they can take in this series, no question. Like they weren't as effective last night as some of our other lines, but they played okay in this series too at times. Like they were effective in Dallas and had some extended ozone time where they were dangerous. They got a couple really good looks last night. I think the Val all alone net front, he rung it off the post, was a really good shift from them. So much like our team, just trying to get into those areas and sort of recreate that more often than we had so far in the series.
Is Jonathan Drouin like an option for tomorrow?
We'll see. I don't know yet. Yeah.
Thanks, Rick.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,